The Serengeti stretches endlessly under the scorching African sun, a sea of golden grass swaying in the hot breeze. The land is parched, waiting for rains that won't come for months. In this harsh wilderness, life and death play out daily with brutal honesty. Here, strength means survival, and weakness invites only one outcome. Amid this unforgiving landscape, an old lion trudges slowly across the plains. His name is Jabari, meaning brave one in Swahili. Once, he commanded respect as the mighty ruler of these territories. Now, time has stolen his throne. His mane, once rich and dark, hangs patchy and gray around his weathered face. Scars crisscross his body like a map of battles won and lost. His muscles, though still powerful, lack the vigor of youth. Jabari walks with a slight limp, a souvenir from his final challenge 3 seasons ago. That day, a younger, stronger male drove him from the pride he had protected for years. It's the way of lions. The old make way for the new. No exceptions, no mercy. Since then, he's lived as a nomad, hunting what he can, avoiding confrontations he can no longer win. The afternoon heat beats down mercilessly as Jabari heads toward a small watering hole. His throat is dry, his pace deliberate. He knows better than to waste energy in this furnace. At his age, survival depends on wisdom more than strength. As he approaches the sparse trees surrounding the water, his ears prick forward. A sound, high-pitched and desperate, cuts through the still air. Jabari freezes, his nostrils flaring as he tests the wind. The scent hits him immediately. Hyenas, at least half a dozen, and something else. Lion. Young lion. Most solitary males would turn away. This isn't their fight. Survival means avoiding unnecessary risks. But something makes Jabari pause. The cries grow more frantic, more helpless. Without fully understanding why, he changes direction, moving toward the sounds with renewed purpose. Over a small rise, he spots them. 6 hyenas, their spotted bodies circling something small and golden in the tall grass. Their yipping and cackling create a nightmarish chorus as they dart in and out, testing their prey's defenses. In the center of their deadly circle cowers a lion cub, no more than 3 months old. It swipes tiny paws at its tormentors, trying to appear fierce despite its terror. Jabari recognizes the markings immediately. This cub belongs to his old pride, the same pride that cast him out. He can see the little one is weakening, its movements becoming slower with each desperate swipe. The hyenas sense victory is near. One particularly bold female lunges forward, snapping powerful jaws inches from the cub's face. The baby lion stumbles backward, nearly falling. Something stirs deep within Jabari's chest. A rumble begins, low and building, shaking his entire frame. Before he can consider the consequences, his massive paws are pounding across the earth, and a roar explodes from his throat, a sound of pure rage that stops every creature in its tracks. The hyenas whirl toward this new threat, their faces frozen in surprise. They hadn't counted on this. A full-grown male lion, even an aging one, is no easy opponent. But they outnumber him 6 to 1, and hunger makes them bold. The largest male hyena snarls, showing teeth capable of crushing bone. He steps forward, challenging. Jabari doesn't hesitate. He charges straight at the leader, his 400 pounds of muscle and fury slamming into the hyena with a force that sends both animals tumbling. Teeth flash, claws tear. The hyena yelps in pain as Jabari's massive jaws close around its shoulder. The others rush in, attacking from all sides, their strategy always the same. Overwhelmed with numbers. Pain tears through Jabari's flank as teeth sink into his back leg. Another hyena leaps for his face, barely missing his eye. He shakes off one attacker and swipes at another, his paw connecting with enough force to send the creature flying. But they keep coming, relentless and coordinated. Blood darkens his tawny coat, yet Jabari stands his ground, positioning himself between the predators and the trembling cub. The battle seems to last forever. Jabari's breath comes in ragged gasps. His old wounds scream in protest. This isn't a fight he can win through strength alone. But lions aren't just brute force. They're tacticians, especially ones who've survived as long as Jabari. He backs toward a fallen tree, limiting the angles of attack. Now they can only come at him from the front. The hyenas sense his strategy and pause, reassessing. In that moment of hesitation, Jabari unleashes another earth-shaking roar. Not just a challenge, but a call for help that echoes across the savannah. The sound travels far in the still air. Half a mile away, two lionesses from Jabari's former pride raise their heads. They recognize his voice immediately. Despite his exile, his roar is unmistakable. One of them, a sleek female named Safia, has been searching frantically for her missing cub since dawn. Without hesitation, both lionesses break into a run toward the sound. Meanwhile, Jabari fights on. His movement slow as exhaustion takes its toll. A deep gash above his eye sends blood streaming, partially blinding him. The hyenas sense weakness and press their advantage. One latches onto his rear leg, another tears at his flank. Pain clouds his vision, but he refuses to yield. Behind him, the cub watches with wide, terrified eyes. Just as Jabari's strength begins to fail, new roars split the air. The hyenas freeze, heads swiveling toward this fresh threat. Two lionesses burst onto the scene, fury personified. Safia's eyes lock onto her cub, then fix on the enemies threatening it. What follows is nature's fury unleashed. The hyenas, now outmatched, scatter in all directions, yipping in protest and pain. Jabari collapses onto his side, his massive chest heaving. Blood pools beneath him, but his eyes remain fixed on the cub. Safia rushes to her baby, inspecting it with gentle licks and soft growls. Finding it unharmed, she turns to the fallen male who once ruled her pride. Recognition flashes in her eyes. For a moment, old instincts war with new realities. This is the male who was defeated, who should no longer matter to her pride. Yet he lies bleeding because he defended what wasn't his to defend. Slowly, deliberately, Safia approaches Jabari. Their eyes meet, hers cautious, his resigned. He expects nothing. That's the law of the wild, the code he's lived by his entire life. But sometimes, even in nature's harsh realm, exceptions occur. To his surprise, Safia doesn't growl or turn away. Instead, she begins to lick his wounds, the same way she would tend to a pride member. The other lioness joins her, helping clean the worst of his injuries. For the first time in many months, Jabari isn't alone. As the sun begins its descent toward the horizon, painting the savannah in shades of gold and red, an unusual group makes its way across the plains. Two lionesses walk side by side, a small cub bouncing between them, and with them, moving slowly but steadily, is an old male with battle-fresh scars and a new purpose in his step. Jabari doesn't know what this means, if he's being welcomed back or simply honored for his sacrifice. It doesn't matter. For now, he walks with family again, his exile temporarily suspended by an act of courage that defied the cold calculations of survival. That night, under a blanket of stars, Jabari sleeps surrounded by the pride he once led. The little cub he saved curls against his massive paw, secure and trusting. Tomorrow brings no guarantees in this wild place. The young male who defeated him still rules these lands and may return at any moment. But tonight at least, Jabari belongs. In the distance, hyenas call to each other, their voices carrying across the darkened plains. But they keep their distance. They've learned a valuable lesson. An old lion with something to protect is still a force to be feared. And that's the incredible story of Jabari, the old lion who chose compassion over self-preservation. In the harshest environment on Earth, where only the strongest survive, he showed us that courage knows no boundaries. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing tales from the wild. Leave a comment telling us what you think happened to Jabari after this day. Until next time, remember that sometimes the greatest strength isn't in domination, but in protection. Thanks for watching.